LeBron has really only played one bad playoff series in his career, which unfortunately defined him for years. But other than the 2011 finals, LeBron's really been a clutch player his whole career, and he's arguably the most clutch.
All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So let's trigger everybody. Is LeBron James clutch? That's that's why I'm here, because I read this title and I saw it's from Nonstop, the channel Nonstop, and I figured this is going to be a triggering video, but I'm going to give them a shot and see what they have to say. But I don't imagine Nonstop is going to do a fair and just job of this assessment, but that's why I'm here and you guys are all here. So anything that is fluff and BS, we can call it out. So as I always do, I'm going to link the original video from Nonstop down below in the description box. So if you want to check this video out by yourself, go right ahead. That way you can avoid my commentary if you like. And everybody else, please leave this video a like. I appreciate it. And what can I say? Not much on the intro. You know how I feel. LeBron James, out of all the stars, out of all the top players in the NBA, is the least clutch dude I've seen. So, which knocks him down on my list of greats constantly, among a bunch of other things. So that's all I'm going to intro with. The rest, I'm sure, is going to unfold as we go along with this video. So, y'all ready? Do you leave a like to the video? Hopefully. And I'll push it out. And I appreciate you guys. Let's do this. It's a beautiful day out here, by the way. I'm in a good mood. Hope it stays that way.
LeBron James is not clutch, right? That's another thing that people bring up all the time.
In the 2011 NBA Finals, LeBron played the worst basketball of his career, and his legacy took a severe hit. James made just 7 fourth-quarter shots across 6 games for a total of 18 points, shooting an inefficient 33% from the field, which gave birth to a plethora of insulting memes. And thanks to the loud mouth of Skip Bayless, the widespread narrative was created that LeBron wasn't clutch.
Okay, it started in 07 and then also again in 2009. What was it? 2010 against Boston, was it? It's hard to remember all the times he's collapsed under pressure. But yeah, it didn't start at 2011. That's when it was like official and it was done. It was like, nah, this guy ain't clutch. It's over. Like he just doesn't have it in him. But the warning signs were way, way before this.
He doesn't have the killer instinct of Jordan and Kobe.
Still doesn't.
The game on the line, it's a whole bunch of players that I would take ahead of LeBron James.
In 2018, a Brazilian reporter called LeBron a clutch player for his entire career. After which, a surprised LeBron smiled and thanked him.
Appreciate you saying I've been clutch my whole career. It's not many like you, I tell you.
In this video, we'll go over LeBron's clutch stat.
I wonder if he was just trolling with that. I've seen it. It's pretty hilarious.
Remind you of his most famous game winners and try to answer the question, did LeBron become one of the most clutch players of all time?
No
or
way.
Have the ghost of 2011 and 6 losses in the NBA Finals tarnished that legacy forever?
Dude, the last 2 seasons, the game on the line, last shot, last 2 seasons, literally, the final game of the season, last shot, LeBron's had the ball in his hands against Denver, and neither time did he even get a shot off. No, he did not become one of the best freaking, clutch players of all time. No, it didn't happen.
But to start things off, let's determine what clutch is in the first place. The NBA defines clutch time as the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter or overtime, when the score is within 5 points. In the last 2 seasons, the NBA officially started honoring clutch play, with De'Aaron Fox and Steph Curry winning the first 2 Clutch Player of the Year awards. Thankfully, the NBA started collecting data about clutch plays since the 1997 NBA season.
Oh, no, are they just going to give him one? Are they going to do it? Are they just going to, spoon feed him and be like, here you go, Bron?
We can support LeBron's clutch moments with numbers. As a rookie, LeBron was already one of the most clutch players in the league, making 34 shots in the clutch across 79 games, which ranked 12th in the NBA. In the 2004-2005 season, LeBron ranked 25th in clutch points.
You see, where the problem with this is, and it's always going to be when it comes to these stat situations, is it's not about the regular season, man. It's about when the pressure's on. There's no pressure in the regular season. It's about the playoffs and what happens in the playoffs, and that's when he crumbles under pressure. It's not he's anti-clutch in the playoffs. That's when it matters the most. And the top clutch players that we always talk about, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, hell, Reggie Miller, even Steph Curry throw in there. All these guys, plus so many more. I'm not gonna list, but all these guys are even more clutch in the playoffs than they were in the regular season. The more pressure, the more clutch they are. That's what makes a clutch player. All these regular season stats that we're about to just digest right now, man, it's just not it.
Including a game-tying three-pointer in the season opener against Indiana. And this game-tying buzzer beater versus the Bulls.
And it's James, and this is for the tie. Good! Right between the eyes.
In 2006,
All right, last interjection. You know how we celebrate and we still show like the shot on Elo? Good. Why was that the case? Because he eliminated the Cavs with that shot. And it was a big deal because they were going into uncharted territory at that point. They'd never been that far in the playoffs. And so that's why we remember that moment. Why do we celebrate the 98 shot? You know, the final shot as a Chicago Bull, because that sealed a championship. You know, like that's why we don't show Jordan. If we showed Jordan's and Bird's regular season clutch moments, dude, the videos would be like hours long. But we just show the specific ones in the playoffs because that's when it matters.
Paul Pierce was the league leader in clutch points with 214, and LeBron was second with 179 points in the final 5 minutes of close games. But while Pierce shot 43% in the clutch, LeBron had an unbelievable 53.6 efficiency on clutch plays, which was the fourth best mark in the league among players with at least 50 points scored in the clutch. That year, LeBron made his first game winner against Charlotte, but he saved the best for the playoffs. In the first-round matchup against the Wizards, King James scored his first playoff game winner in Game 3.
Goes left, bends in, over Ruffin. He got it to go. Timeout Washington. 5.7 to go. LeBron James hit the big shot.
And then he made another one in Game 5.
Another one.
To the hoop for the win. He got it with 9/10 left. The Cavaliers have won it.
For the playoffs,
that
the
one's
King
legit.
led the NBA in clutch points, shooting 50% on such plays. And if the league gave out its Clutch Player of the Year award back in 2006, LeBron would have probably been the winner based on his volume and efficiency. In 2006,
Wasn't that the same year where like the whole team was injured on Washington? Am I remembering this one wrong? Because there's one of these years where it came down to the wire, and yeah, like all the best players were gone, and they were injured at the time. It might have been 2007. I think it was 06. I'm not sure.
LeBron was third in total points in the clutch behind Kobe and Vince Carter, making 45% of his shots.
Shout out to
James
Vince Carter.
was also sixth in the NBA in clutch assists and first in steals. But in the playoffs, LeBron was far ahead of the rest of the NBA, with 58 points in the clutch, more than double the second-place Manu Ginobili, who had 28. James also led all players in the playoffs in clutch assists and steals. And in terms of efficiency, LeBron shot 53% on clutch shots, again, ranking near the top of the league. And while his two game winners versus the Wizards were awesome, what LeBron did against the Pistons in 07 was legendary. Even though the one-seeded Pistons were the favorite and took a 2-0 series lead.
Okay, this is the one where I do give him credit. And actually, when I watched this live, I thought this was the turning point for LeBron James. What he did against the Pistons, and yes, I know there's no Ben Wallace. I know all that. But still, what he was able to do in that series impressed me so much that I was like, okay, maybe he is him. And I started to believe. Because up until this point, I could care less about LeBron James. I was watching Steve Nash and Dwayne Wade and fearing Kobe Bryant. That's just where I was. And but yeah, when I saw this, I thought, okay, maybe he is clutch. Maybe he's figuring this out and he's growing into this. I'll just leave it at that for now. they're going in a timeline here.
The Cavs bounced back and tied the series after 4 games. And then in Game 5, we saw one of the best games in NBA history. LeBron scored 48 points, including 25 straight, and 29 of the Cavs' last 30 points in the fourth quarter and 2 overtimes.
As the fourth quarter started running down, it got to a point where I said, we've come this far. There's no looking back now. As a leader, I can't allow my team to fail.
With 2.2 seconds left in the second OT,
Man, you see that mentality right there. If he had that mentality throughout his career, I believe the amount of success he would have had would be astronomical. But that's the mentality where he said it right there. As a leader, I can't allow my team to fail. And now, LeBron James these days, if he fails, he blames his team. He's gone the opposite of this leadership mentality. He's not responsible for the team's success or failures. Everybody else is. But then he gets the credit if they do succeed. So it's all a mentality thing. And it's too bad, dude, because Cavs, LeBron versus the Pistons, dude, I was a fan for a short period here.
James scored a driving layup to give the Cavs the victory on the road.
James scores with 2.2 to go.
That dude he climbed that mountain that night.
Yeah.
In Game 6, Cleveland closed out the series to advance to their first NBA Finals in franchise history.
And if we can get it down to the fourth quarter, I always told my team I'm going to try to do my best to try to bring it home.
And even though the Cavs got
so that's why they got swept. Because he was already feeling himself. He was already feeding his ego after that. So, yeah, that's why. He was like, yeah, me, go me. No wonder why they got their asses whooped by the Spurs.
Swept by the much more experienced Spurs team, it was hardly LeBron's fault, who basically dragged a group of bystanders to the NBA Finals in what was easily the weakest team ever to reach the championship round. In 2008,
I don't know. You got that, or you got the 2020 Heat? Was another one?
LeBron led the NBA in clutch points with 251 on 48% shooting, miles ahead of Kobe, who scored 147 points in the clutch.
James puts it up, puts it in. Cavs by 3 with 20 seconds remaining.
James was also the first in the league in clutch steals and assists, and 4th in blocks. In January of 2008, LeBron scored a game winner against Portland, the 5th game winner of his career.
Regular season.
And he lays it in with 0.3 of a second.
In the playoffs, the King was 6th in total points in the clutch, but in terms of efficiency, this was one of his weakest years, as he only shot 23% in the clutch.
Yikes.
However, that's largely because he played against the best defense in the NBA in the second round versus the Celtics.
So what?
In a legendary matchup with Paul Pierce.
So what, though? That's what the playoffs is all about. That's when you find out who's really clutch and who's not. I get into arguments with people in the comments about the way that I determine greatness, which is like, one, you have to be the best player on the best team, meaning you're winning championships. So it's your leadership is leading to something successful. 2, you got to be the best individual player out there. And that's when the clutch stuff comes into play and the park ball comes into play. Because if you can't get a shot off against insane defense, then you're going to crumble when it comes to meeting a team like this, Boston, or meeting a team like the Spurs, or what have you. But the greatest of the greats get the shot off no matter what. Once again, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller, Larry Bird, all these guys, they're going to get the damn shot off. And that one-on-one aspect of the game is actually important. You just need to know when to use it. And LeBron's always been lacking in that. And it shows against a good defense like this. Clutch time, shooting 23%. That's not good. Your percentage is supposed to either be equal or you're supposed to raise your percentage during those times. Jordan always did it. Bird did it. Kobe did it. I'm pretty sure Reggie did it, but I don't know off the top of my head.
LeBron finished with 35 points in Game 5, 32 in Game 6, and then 45 in Game 7, where he scored almost half of all of Cleveland's points.
Here he goes. And James makes it a 1-point game. They're playing a game. Anything you can do I can do better.
But it wasn't enough
Mark
because
Jackson.
Pierce had 41 of his own to push the Celtics to the conference finals. In '09, LeBron was 8th in the NBA in clutch points, but with 56% accuracy. He was the most efficient among the 25 best clutch scorers.
Regular
the
season.
Cavs were 23-8 in clutch games, which was the best record in the NBA. Against the Warriors, LeBron made the first buzzer beater of his career to win the game on the road.
LeBron to win the game. He does!
Speaking of clutch, so we're this far into his career, and this is the first time he's hit a buzzer beater, game-winning shot. So what this video is doing is taking statistics towards the end of games, clutch time, as opposed to like the clutch shot. Because we all know LeBron James doesn't take the last second shot. He never shoots it at the end of regulation. So he might do it with about like 20 seconds left in regulation, but he will pass the ball at the end of a game to have somebody else shoot it. So once again, that's not a clutch thing. You know, it's just not. Clutch thing is you want the ball in your hands with 2 seconds left on the clock, game on the line, season on the line. Who's taking the shot? It's never LeBron James. And if any of you actually would put the ball in LeBron James's hand, 2 seconds left in the game, it's game 7, win or your season is over. Wow, that would shock me if there's anybody. Chime in the comments if that's really where you stand on it.
He does!
And then, in the playoffs, he added another one. After the Cavs
Another
swept
one.
the Pistons and the Hawks, they faced the Orlando Magic in the conference finals and were 1 second away from falling 0-2 in the series when this happened.
LeBron for 3 for the win. Yes! LeBron James at the buzzer!
However, despite LeBron averaging 38, 8, and 8 in the series, the Magic were too good, and the Cavs lost the series in 6.
Shout out to prime Dwight Howard, man.
In 2010, LeBron led the NBA in clutch points for a second time, hitting 49% of his shots and winning 33 out of 45 clutch games, which was once again the best mark in the NBA.
Clutch games. Interesting stat. Clutch games. Okay. It sure makes it look good.
In the playoffs, LeBron shot 57% from the field and 54% from 3 in the first round against the Bulls.
The end of the quarter, James. Oh, yeah!
But in the second round, the Celtics were too
Just because this is some trickery here, that was the end of the first quarter. Okay. I'm going to call out all the BS here, man.
strong again. And even though the visual didn't look too great and LeBron didn't have a super strong performance, he still made 60% of clutch shots in the playoffs. After the season, it was clear that LeBron had taken the Cavs as far as they could go, and that if he wanted to win a championship, he needed to go elsewhere.
He's flopping all the way to South Beach.
Cavs struggled to surround him with all-star
D-Wade,
teammates.
help me.
Season is over.
Show me how to win, D-Wade.
In his first 7-year stint in Cleveland, LeBron shot 46.7% in the clutch, which was near the top of the league, and just a fraction below his overall shooting percentage of 47.5%. If there was a Clutch Player of the Year award back then, James should have won it 3 times in 2006, 2008, and 2010. However, despite his game winners, some of the best clutch stats in the league, winning 2 MVPs, and being statistically the most impactful player in the NBA, it was around then that Skip Bayless first started hating on LeBron.
And for the 1,000th time, I'm going to say it again. LeBron James, as great as he is, as gifted as he is, was not born with a clutch gene.
Absolutely. I won't argue that he deserved those MVPs during that time. He did. I mean, it's either him or he's right up there. That was his peak. That was when he was dominating. He was playing great basketball. I mean, you know, he's putting up really good numbers. I'll put it that way. So, yeah, I won't argue against the MVPs, but calling him clutch is that's just bad. That's just a bad look, dude. That just shows you're not watching games. If you're actually going to call him clutch, I'll be fair. The MVPs, yeah, he was great. He was great for about 45 minutes during that time.
Unfortunately for James, Skip's gloomy predictions turned out to be correct for the 2011 season, his first with the Miami Heat. In the regular season, LeBron was 6th in the NBA in clutch points on 43% shooting, but Miami won just 22 out of 41 close games, as the players and the coach were still trying to find their footing. In the playoffs, Miami defeated the Sixers and then the Celtics, as LeBron finally got the better of his nemesis, Paul Pierce.
James over Pierce.
In the conference finals, LeBron was magnificent against the MVP Derrick Rose, masterfully guarding him in the deciding moments of the fourth quarter and limiting Rose to just 35% shooting in the series.
It's funny, those 4 years with Miami were the only seasons where I'll say LeBron actually played decent defense. And I gotta admit, it's because of the system he was in. They forced him to do it. He didn't have a choice. You know, Spo is like a mini Pat. And Pat is all in on Spo. So, yeah, you don't play tough defense out there, you get the fuck out. That was basically the mentality in Miami. And that's why I've always respected the Miami Heat organization, because that's how it is. Play D or get the hell out. And the second he went back to Cleveland, you could see the drop-off in his defense. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out why.
But then came the finals, and the most disappointing series of LeBron's career.
Yep. Remember what I said earlier? How does he perform when it all counts? Because they skipped right past the Spurs finals. So, and they also skipped right past how bad he played just the previous year against Boston. So let's see if they actually show this, because this was bad.
Completely lost faith in his jump shot, and because Dallas played phenomenal team defense on him, guarding him with 2 or 3 players,
little guys.
His driving lanes were closed, so his offense plummeted.
Look, you got Jason Kidd, JJ Barrera, and Jason Terry guarding him, like these little like 6'1" dudes, 6'2" or whatever they are. And we're worried about LeBron's jump shot not going in. Come on, man, post him up, take him to the paint.
The Heat lost the series in 6, and it was largely LeBron's fault. Even though the 2011 Mavs team is underrated, LeBron should have launched those jumpers in the fourth quarter even if they missed. He actually shot 48% in the series, which is far from terrible, but it was his passive play that killed the Heat. After the finals, LeBron fell into...
what about his fourth quarters? The fourth quarters were abysmal. How about the 3 for 11 game? Why are we skipping past this? I'm sorry, I didn't realize how BS this vid was going to be, but I said I would call it out, and I'm calling it out, but I'm getting exhausted doing it.
To a deep depression and wouldn't leave the house for 2 weeks.
Probably one of the hardest times of my life. You know, after the finals, I sat in my room for 2 weeks, did absolutely nothing, talked to absolutely nobody.
While Skip Bayless...
That's because you promised 8 championships, you doofus.
Somehow looked smarter than every other analyst on TV.
Games 4, 5, and 6 against the Dallas Mavericks disappeared, ran from the basketball.
Yeah, he did.
LeBron melted
that's
down.
What during my breakdown of the games, I called it hot potato, because he did not want that ball. If he did get the ball, he was pissed he got the ball, and he'd immediately dish it out. But outside of that, he was physically avoiding getting in a pass lane where he could receive the ball. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in a star player, ever.
Way we've never seen a superstar melt down in the history of sports.
I agree with Skip on this.
LeBron went to work. He went to Hakeem Olajuwon's camp to improve his post game. He gained more muscle and started playing more in the post, which was the biggest weakness of his early career. And when the 2012 season began, the results were obvious. James played the best and most efficient basketball of his career, resulting in his 3rd regular season MVP. However, after dominating the Knicks and the Pacers, the Heat fell 3-2 to the Celtics in the conference finals, and it seemed like the haters would add another layer of saltiness at LeBron's expense.
Look, I'll agree with this one thing with Nonstop. That was the best LeBron James, in my opinion. While he was in Miami, the 2nd and 3rd year he was there, so 11-12 and 12-13 were his 2 best seasons in his career.
But then, with his back against the wall and his career legacy on the line, the King delivered one of the most cold-blooded and dominant performances in NBA history. 45 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists, shooting an unreal 19 for 26 from the field against 4 Hall of Famers.
And yeah, if he could do that on a regular basis, I'd be the biggest LeBron James fan you've ever heard of. If he could have just done this kind of stuff throughout his career. forget about it. Dude would probably have 10 championships right now. We'd have such a different conversation at this point.
Whenever the Celtics got close, LeBron made another shot, being as clutch gets.
Well, I just go out and just do what I've been taught, and that's to play at a high level and have fun with it. I won't regret anything. If I know I played hard and I gave it my all, I won't regret anything, no matter the outcome. That's
okay,
why
I want to redo this because this is the same thing that he did before. And this is him when he wins, right? So when he loses, he blames the team. But when he wins, it's all about himself. Think about when he won the championship in 2020. I want my damn respect, is what he said. Now, I'm going to replay this. The captions are on. And I want you to pay attention and count how many times you hear I, me, I've, like just anything referring to himself, okay? Because it's going to be a lot. You all ready?
LeBron made another shot,
and put it in the comments down below, because there's no way I can keep up with this.
Clutch,
because I'm gonna just do it and go through. Okay.
Well, I just go out and just do what I've been taught, and that's to play at a high level and have fun with it. I won't regret anything. If I know I played hard and I gave it my all, I won't regret anything, no matter the outcome. That's where I've been this whole season.
In Game
Catch
7,
all that?
LeBron finished off the Celtics with a triple-double of 31 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists, making his third finals appearance. And against OKC in the finals, LeBron faced a formidable opponent, again playing against multiple Hall of Famers. But this version of LeBron...
It was a bunch of Hall of Famers, but they were just fresh into the league. These are young bucks, So this team here, this Thunder team, gets the same excuse that young Jordan gets, and then young LeBron gets the first couple of seasons he played. Like, no, we didn't expect you to win a championship the first couple of years. That's nuts. The fact that the Thunder got here was impressive, but nobody expected them to actually win this. They needed to lose and learn from this, and unfortunately they broke up, which is sad because they could have definitely won a championship or two if they stayed together, but they just needed to mature.
Wouldn't be denied, and he finally climbed the NBA mountaintop, winning the ring and the Finals MVP, leading all players in clutch points in the playoffs.
Yeah, this was a soft
After the
ring.
season, LeBron joined Team USA at the 2012 London Olympics, where he once again proved his clutch factor. Whenever the Americans needed a score in close games, it was LeBron who had the ball, made the right play, and was clearly the best player on the team. In 2013, the Miami Heat won 27 games in a row, the second largest...
It wasn't Kobe? Okay, all right. It wasn't Kobe? All right. You remember 08, the Olympics there too? You want to say that was LeBron too? Because that was all Kobe in the fourth, man.
Unbeaten streak in NBA history, and LeBron kept that streak alive with a game winner against Orlando and another again in Boston over Jeff Green.
Seconds left. James for the tie. Got 'em all!
After which he introduced his famous silencer celebration. James was fourth in the NBA in clutch scoring and first in assists as Miami won 28 out of 35 close games, which again ranked number 1 in the league. In the playoffs, the Heat easily got past the Bucks and the Bulls, but in the conference finals, the Pacers, led by Paul George, proved to be a much tougher matchup. In Game 1,
who was leading the Bucks back then? Was that Michael Redd? That must have been a first round, so they were probably 8 seed.
Indiana had a 1-point lead with 2.2 seconds left on the clock when LeBron got the ball at the top of the key and drove to the basket to score a buzzer-beating layup to win the game. Eventually, the Heat advanced to the finals after 7 hard-fought games, and James averaged 31 points. However, in the finals, it seemed like all hope was lost after San Antonio had a 3-2 lead in the series with a 10-point lead coming into the fourth quarter. But then, James played like a man possessed, scoring 16 out of Miami's 30 points in the fourth, including a clutch three-pointer that cut the deficit to 2 with 20 seconds to go. After Kawhi made one of his 2 free throws, the Heat were down by 3, with 1 chance to tie the game.
Showed a shot then. Showed a shot because, like I said earlier, he doesn't take a last-second shot, but he'll take a shot with a little bit of time on the clock. So let's show the brick, please. Restore a little bit of faith in me, Nonstop, and show the brick. Okay, please?
After which, one of the most legendary...
There it is. That's how you know it's a propaganda piece. What led to this jump shot here? Do you guys know? I sure as hell know. It was a LeBron James bricked three, a Chris Bosh rebound, dish out to Ray Allen backpedaling to the three-point line, and in one of the greatest shots I've ever seen in my life, with everything on the line by Ray Allen. Ray Allen is clutch as all hell. Like he is. And he proved it right here. But this is how you know it's a propaganda piece, everybody. This might have been even paid for. Who knows? Who knows what this is? But this is not honest reporting here because they would show the damn shot.
Sequences in NBA
oh, there it is.
history
There it is.
happen.
There it is. Okay, they did it.
Back out to Allen. His
Boom.
Tie game with 5 seconds.
Okay, now put some emphasis on the brick. Come on.
In the OT, LeBron scored or assisted on all of Heat's field goals as Miami escaped with a victory. In Game 7, James scored 37 points, including a dagger jump shot over Kawhi.
You see, if we're going to do a real assessment, though, you got to point out the positives and the negatives. They're not doing that here. They're only focusing on the positives when there's like a clear negative right there. We're talking about him being clutch, and he missed a game-winning shot to save the NBA Finals. He missed it. They were about to get eliminated here, but nope. Well, we'll just skip right past it, I guess.
Secured the win and the title for Miami. Once again, LeBron led all players in total points in the clutch in the postseason.
Oh, nice
and his legacy as a clutch player was now looking much different than it did 2 years prior. In 2014, LeBron was second in total points in the clutch behind Kevin Durant, including game winners over Orlando.
4 on the shot clock.
Yo, they better show the NBA Finals meltdown.
Golden State.
Make somebody else beat you. 3 on the way. He got it.
And Portland.
6 on the shot clock. Drives it in. Lays it in.
In the playoffs, LeBron had the best shooting postseason of his career, shooting over 55% in all 4 series. In the finals against the Spurs, LeBron made 57% of his field goals, 52% from 3. But it wasn't enough, as the Spurs played arguably the most beautiful team basketball in history, deservedly winning the title. For the 2015...
Why are we going to show Kawhi Leonard locking down LeBron in the clutch? Why aren't we going to show it? Tell me why.
Season, LeBron decided to come back home to Cleveland, and his first year back with the Cavs will mostly be remembered for clashes with coach David Blatt. In the second round against Chicago, with Kevin Love out for the playoffs and Kyrie Irving playing on one leg, Chicago held a 2-1 series lead. In Game 4, with 1.5 seconds to go, the score was tied, when Blatt drew up a play with James passing the ball in. But LeBron said, F that.
I just told Coach, just give me the ball. We either going to go in overtime or I'm going to win it for us. And I told Coach, there's no way I'm taking the ball unless I could shoot it over the backboard and go in.
And he sank a beautiful buzzer beater over Jimmy Butler to tie the series.
James for the win. It's gone. LeBron James at the buzzer.
After beating the Bulls in 6, the Cavs swept the 1-seeded Hawks to advance to the NBA Finals, where they lost Kyrie Irving to injury after Game 1. Still, LeBron was so dominant that he willed the Cavs to 2 wins.
Damn, also, the East was still pretty weak at that point, huh? I'm listening to those teams he got through.
That's all he could do. The Warriors won the finals in 6 games, despite James's 36, 13, and 9, which led both teams in points, rebounds, and assists. In 2016, LeBron scored another game winner in the regular season, this time a sweet hook shot against Brooklyn.
LeBron James hooks, got it! He did it with 1 second!
That was more of a one-handed floater, by the way.
In the playoffs, the healthy Cavs dominated the East, losing just 2 games on their way to the NBA Finals, where they faced the best team in the history of the NBA. The Warriors won an
Dude, they played the 96 Bulls? No fucking way. How'd they pull that off? Is this 2K? I'm sorry. This is not the greatest team of all time, y'all. You got to win the championship to be the greatest team of all time. Sorry, regular season record don't mean shit. Don't mean a thing without the ring.
A record 73 games in the regular season. And after 4 games, they held a 3-1 lead in the finals. And it looked like they were easily getting the repeat. But then, both LeBron and Kyrie scored 41 points in Game 5, extending the series. In Game 6, James recorded 41 points, 8 rebounds, and 11 assists to force a Game 7.
All right, put your predictions in. Are they going to show the Kyrie Irving shot, the real clutch performer of this series? Are they going to show it? Because that's the real clutch moment That's who won the game.
Which proved to be one of the most legendary games in history. In the fourth quarter, with the game tied at 89, LeBron delivered the most clutch block ever.
Okay, you're going to show that. You
For
better
nearly
show
3
Kyrie's
minutes,
shot.
neither team could score, and it was still 89-89 when Kyrie made the biggest shot of his career.
One-on-one, Irving puts it
Come
up.
on, where's the context?
It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
Show how much time is on the clock. Where's the context?
LeBron then hit a free throw to extend the Cavs' lead to 4, and after Kevin Love's great defense...
This is also... So the two real clutch moments, I'd say, was Kyrie hitting that 3, and then Kevin Love's lockdown of Steph Curry. Man, Kevin Love really stepped up here. What is he doing out here in the perimeter? But he's the best defender out there, so it's just insane. The biggest dude on the Cavs guarding the smallest dude on the Warriors, and the quickest dude in the NBA at this point. Insane what he's able to pull off.
Defense that forced a missed three-pointer by Curry, Cleveland could finally celebrate their first title after 52 years. And even though it was Kyrie's shot that'll be remembered the most, it was LeBron who scored 11 out of Cleveland's 18 points in the fourth quarter. And if it weren't for James, the Cavs wouldn't have even been in position to win.
Like I say over and over again, no love for Kevin Love, man. No love for Kevin Love.
To 2013 in Game 6 against the Spurs, where LeBron's 16 points in the fourth brought his team close to victory. In 2017, LeBron had another great shooting season, and the most memorable moment in the regular season happened when the Cavs trailed by 3 against the Wizards with 3.4 seconds to go. What happened next was poetry in motion.
What a pass.
LeBron and got it.
Damn, man. Can we just get a little appreciation on this?
Against the Wizards
Look
with
at his
3.4 seconds to go. What happened next was poetry in motion.
Boom.
LeBron.
All right, I'll be fair. Good shot. Good shot, too.
Banks it in.
For the entire playoffs, LeBron was shooting lights out, 56% from the field, including 41% for 3. In the finals, LeBron averaged a triple-double with 33, 12, and 10. But there was no beating the Warriors with Kevin Durant, who were arguably the best team of all time. And then Kyrie Irving left the team, and all the Cavs got in return was an injured Isaiah Thomas and the shadow of Jay Crowder. The Cavs were a mess all year, making a complete overhaul at the trade deadline in a desperate attempt to salvage their season. However, through all the adversity, they still had LeBron, who had the most clutch season of his career.
James steps back 3 from there, and knocks it down. LeBron James from downtown.
For the 4th time in his career, LeBron led the league in clutch points, hitting 56% of his shots in the last 5 minutes of close games, including this clutch block and buzzer beater against the Timberwolves.
James catch, fire, ball game! He did it! LeBron James wins it for Cleveland!
In the first round of the playoffs against the Pacers, LeBron finished Game 2 with 46 points on 71% shooting to pull away with a clutch 197 victory and avoid an 0-2 deficit. In Game 5, the score was tied at 95 with less than 10 seconds to go. Oladipo decided to take the final shot. He drove to the basket and was denied by LeBron.
That's how LeBron gets all his blocks, by the way. Do you notice? He's never in front of the offensive player taking a shot. He's always behind them getting the sneak block, and that's always the highlight. It's interesting to me because that doesn't really signify good defense. If it's good defense, he'd stay in front of his man. I'm going to show it again here.
In Game 5, the score was tied at 95 with less than 10.
If it was great defense, he would have stayed in front of him the entire time and then gone straight up and blocked a shot. However, it's always a blow-by, and then he catches up to it. So he becomes his own weak side help.
Seconds to go. Oladipo decided to take the final shot. He drove to the basket and was denied by LeBron, who blocked him without fouling, also keeping the ball in bounds. In the final possession, with 3 seconds left on the clock, LeBron got the ball almost at half court, took 2 dribbles, and pulled up a deep 3 over Thaddeus Young.
Seconds left. Cleveland triggers in. James, 2 seconds. 1 second for the win. LeBron James delivers.
3 seconds left on the clock. You're in the huddle with your teammates. What are you telling them?
Let's give me the ball.
Indiana then took a dominant win at home to send the series back to Cleveland for Game 7, where LeBron took out his DIY kit and gave Cleveland fans another playoff masterpiece. 45 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and 4 steals in a 105-101 victory over the Pacers. For the series, James either scored or assisted on 60% of the Cavaliers' points. In Game 1 of the second round against Toronto, the Raptors never trailed once for 48 minutes, but LeBron's clutch turnaround jumper in the last minute tied the score at 105 and sent the game to overtime, where the Cavs escaped with a victory. In Game 3, the score was tied with 8 seconds to go. LeBron took the ball, dribbled the entire length of the court, and then let fly an extremely tough and contested floater.
Throws up the floater. Good night,
Yeah, I remember that shot too.
Cleveland. That is
LeBron took the Raptors' souls with that game winner. But in the East Finals, the Cavs were overmatched by the Celtics, who took a 2-0 series lead. The Cavs managed to tie the series back home, and LeBron was especially brilliant in Game 4.
James sets, puts up a three. Bang!
He went off for 46 points on 17 of 28 shooting from the field and was absolutely unstoppable when the Cavs needed him to be, which was often. The Celtics took Game 5, and for the 4th time in his career, LeBron faced a 3-2 deficit against the Celtics. And as you can probably imagine, he responded in a huge way. In Game 6, he led the Cavs to victory with 46 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists.
Puts it in! As the shot clock expires, LeBron James with 44. Timeout Boston.
In Game 7 in Boston, he silenced the crowd with a huge 35, 15, and 9 performance.
You know I like to be fair. This block, this block, that's a real block right there. That's a real block. He's in front of his guy. That's a legit block right there.
15 and 9 performance, carrying the Cavs to another NBA Finals with averages of 33.6 points, 9 rebounds, and 8.4 assists, and was again responsible for over 50% of the Cavs' offensive output.
He should have just stayed in Cleveland, man, instead of leaving him twice. They could have built around him and Kevin Love again. I know Kyrie didn't want to play with LeBron, and I totally respect that. So there'll always be that little bit of a bad taste in everyone's mouth, like, oh man, you're the reason Kyrie left. But still, he left once. He should have just stayed. His legacy would have been a lot better.
Grab from behind, count it, goaltend and 1. And it's up to 9 with 1:04 remaining.
In the finals, the same opponent awaited for the 4th straight year, and nobody believed the Cavs had the slightest chance of beating them, except King James, who played arguably the best offensive game of his career in Game 1, with 49 points in regulation. And if it weren't for J.R. Smith, who forgot the score, maybe the Cavs would have won. But instead, the game went to overtime, where the exhausted James mustered only 2 points.
No, it wasn't the exhausted James. He mentally checked out of the game. You could see it in... Man, I hate that I know all this shit. You could see it in the intermission between regulation and overtime. He wasn't even talking to his team. He wouldn't make eye contact with his team. He was pouting. That's basically what it is. He checked out. He gave up. He quit on his team in the clutch, which is overtime in an NBA Finals game. It wasn't that he was exhausted. He checked out. That way, J.R. Smith was to blame. And yeah, of course, J.R. Smith deserves a little slap in the back of the head for that move. But if you're the leader of the team, you're like, okay, JR, let's shake it off. Let's get this fucking win. Let's go in there and win this in overtime. That's what you do as a leader. You don't be like, oh, I can't believe what JR did, so I'm just going to put my head down and pout and not even try in overtime. That's not what a good leader does.
As the Warriors defeated the Cavs by 10. The rest of the series was just a formality, and despite a 34-8-10 from LeBron, the Cavs had no answers for the Warriors' juggernaut. Once again, LeBron led all playoff scorers in the clutch, hitting 50% of his shots. And if there was the award for the Clutch Player of the Year, James should have won his 4th in 2018. When he moved to LA to join the Lakers, LeBron had a forgettable 2019 season. And due to James's injury, the Lakers missed the playoffs. But in 2020, the Lakers added Anthony Davis, and LeBron led the league in assists and finished second in MVP voting for the 4th time in his career. In the first round, he averaged a triple-double against Portland on 60% shooting and had a near triple-double against the Rockets and the Nuggets to reach his 10th NBA Finals. And in the finals against the Heat, LeBron once again proved his clutch factor. In Game 4, he scored or assisted on 60% of the Lakers' points in the fourth quarter.
All right, real quick, let's get some comments down below. In my opinion, this was the weakest team to ever make it to an NBA Finals, at least that I've witnessed. And no disrespect to the Miami Heat. I am a fan of the Miami Heat, but this team, I'm shocked they were in the NBA Finals. You know, I really am. And I'm sorry to do it again, but them going back in 2022 also shocked me. You know, I don't know what they were doing there, man. But yeah, put it out in the comments down below. In your opinion, what was the weakest team ever to make it to an NBA Finals? I'm curious.
Lakers a 3-1 series lead. In legendary Game 5, where LeBron and Jimmy Butler exchanged buckets down the stretch, LeBron passed up a potential game-winning shot, and the Lakers ended up losing the game. But in Game 6, he silenced the haters with another brilliant game, finishing with a 28, 14, and 10 triple-double. For the series, LeBron averaged 30, 12, and 8, with an insane 59% shooting and 42% for three. And even though his last 4 years with the Lakers didn't yield anything more than one conference finals appearance, the Kings still had some memorable clutch shots, like the game-tying 3 against San Antonio.
Regular season.
For the tie.
The play-in dagger against the Warriors.
Throws it back up top. James puts up the 3. Oh, it's gone.
60 seconds left in the game. Hold up. Did I see that right?
Warriors.
Throws it back up top. James puts up the 3.
With a minute left in the game, we're calling this clutch? Don't get confused. This is a buzzer beater, but it's the end of the shot clock, not the end of the game. Huh. It's a good thing I'm paying attention on this video.
Oh, it's gone! LeBron James from downtown!
Or closing out Dillon Brooks on the Grizzlies.
James drives. James is fouled!
I saw the clock. There was still another almost 30 seconds left in the game here.
In February 2024 against the Clippers, at the age of 39, Bron outscored the whole Clippers team 19-16 in the fourth quarter, once again proving his clutch factor.
7 minutes left in the game on that shot.
This marked the 18th time in his career that James has outscored the entire opposing team in the fourth quarter, while no other active player has done that more than 3 times. In his 6 years as a Laker, the King averaged nearly 8 points per game in the fourth quarter, and with 7.25 points in the fourth quarter for his career, he ranks as the best fourth quarter scorer ever. With 1 minute left in the fourth quarter or OT, and with
what? Say that again.
And with 7.25 points in the fourth quarter for his career, he ranks as the best fourth quarter scorer ever. With 1 minute left in the fourth.
You're trying to tell me he averages more fourth quarter points than Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant? There's some spin on this that I'm not understanding, but that's BS. 7 points in the fourth quarter is not going to make you the greatest of all time. I didn't catch the spin on it. I'm going to listen to it one more time.
8 points per game in the fourth quarter, and
okay, wait, why is the number shifting?
Quarter, while no other active player has done that more than 3 times. In his 6 years as a Laker, the King averaged nearly 8 points per game in the fourth quarter, and with 7.25 points in the fourth quarter for his career, he ranks as the best fourth quarter scorer ever. With 1 minute left in the fourth quarter or OT, and with a shot to tie or take the lead, LeBron ranks 4th all-time in field goal percentage, with 45.2% shooting. Also, LeBron is 7 for 12, 58% in his career on game-tying or winning field goal attempts in the final second of playoff games. Let's put that in context. Kobe, Steph, Durant, Kawhi, Harden, Westbrook, Dirk, Wade, Duncan, Jokic, T-Mac, and Nash are a combined 6 of 50, or 12%.
LeBron James has the most clutch time points ever. He's got over 2,600. The only other player with over 2,000
And you've got the
clutch
biggest clutch media paycheck ever, JJ.
time points is Kobe. LeBron James, second most game-tying or game-winning shots inside the final minute of the fourth quarter or overtime.
The King also has the most playoff buzzer beaters. He's made the most game-tying or go-ahead field goals in the final minute of a playoff game and has the highest field goal percentage among players with 25-plus attempts. LeBron James has made 1,010 clutch shots in his career, regular season and playoffs, which is the most in NBA history, and has a career average of 34, 11, and 8 in elimination games. So, after all the stats, game winners, and clutch plays, LeBron has really only played one bad playoff series in his career, which unfortunately defined him for years. But other than the 2011 finals, LeBron's really been a clutch player his whole career, and he's arguably the most clutch player of all time.
I was waiting for it. 26 minutes of build-up. I was waiting for it. It was all about the statement. Here it is.
His whole career, and he's arguably the most clutch player of all time.
They did it, dude. They did it. They said it.
Thanks for watching. And if you like this video, we've got another one for you right here.
Normally like your videos, but oh man, I just lost a lot of respect for this channel. All right, let's settle it, everybody. You just heard a 26-minute propaganda piece about LeBron James. It's campaigning for LeBron James being the most clutch player of all time. All right? They just fed you with all this. Did it work? Now, put it in the comments. One final request. In the comments, everybody, please vote in. Of all time, we're talking from the beginning of the NBA all the way to right now, 2024. All time, game on the line. We got a couple seconds and on the clock. Game 7, NBA Finals. One shot for clutch. Who's taking the shot for you? If it's LeBron James, say it's LeBron James. I've got the controversial take. I've got Larry Bird, Michael Jordan second. That's for the one shot, okay? If we have one play left in the game, which is not what I was asking, but one play would be Michael Jordan. That's if we got about 8 seconds on the clock. I want him to do it because he's going to pull some one-on-one crap out of his bag. But if we're talking 2 seconds left, one shot, game on the line, I want a catch and shoot by Larry Bird. I want the ball to stay the hell away from LeBron James personally. But I want to hear from you guys. I am exhausted from this one. Damn. I didn't realize how bad this was going to be. I am drained. I am exhausted. I hope you all enjoyed it. This was for all y'all. I hope you got some laughs out of it. And anything that I missed, because I tried my best. Anything I missed, let me know in the comments. And this should be a very active comment section on this one, because there's multiple points where I was calling you guys to comment on something. So this should be a very active one and a very fun comment section to hang out in. So I'm looking forward to talking to all y'all. Whatever your view is, whatever your stance is, feel free to put it down below, and we'll all have a conversation about it, okay? All right, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Don't get me wrong, Nonstop does put out a lot of good content, so I still do suggest that you guys sub to the channel, but it's obvious they cashed in a paycheck with this one. They got paid on this one. I'm pretty damn sure. This is not their normal content whatsoever. Anyways, everybody, subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. Leave the video a like. I'd really appreciate it. Comment down below. Let's have a good talk. I am out of here. Time to catch my breath. Peace out, everybody.